All Stop Sports. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Back with another video. We're going to talk some more boxing, but first and foremost, shout out to the LDBC. Now, this article comes from Boxing Scene. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the description. It's titled, Crawford and Indongo to pay over $100,000 apiece in sanctioning fees. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read the article, and then I'll give my thoughts. It says, Terence Crawford and Julius Indongo have the rare opportunity to own each of the four widely recognized world titles in their weight class. The 140-pound title holders will pay plenty, though, for the chance to become a fully unified champion in the super lightweight division. BoxingScene.com has learned that Crawford, the WBC and WBO champion, and Indongo, the IBF and WBA champion, will pay more than $100,000 apiece in sanctioning fees from their undisclosed seven-figure purses to fight for those four world titles August 19th at Pinnacle Bank Arena in Lincoln, Nebraska. This fight will also be televised on ESPN. The figures are so high because Crawford, who's 31-0 with 22 knockouts, of Omaha, Nebraska, and Namibia's Indongo, who's 22-0 with 11 knockouts, each will submit 12% of their respective purses for the right to fight for those four world championships. Indongo was stripped of the IBO 140-pound championship on Monday. If that fifth title would have been at stake a week from Saturday night, Crawford and Indongo would have paid even more in sanctioning fees. The IBF, WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBO typically take 3% apiece from the purses of a champion and challenger when those organizations sanction a title fight. In cases of superstars such as Floyd Mayweather Jr., Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez, those sanctioning bodies often negotiate lower fees for title fights because those highly paid stars aren't willing to pay 3% of their 8-figure purses. Whoever wins the Crawford and Indongo fight will become the first boxer in any division in 12 years to hold the IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO titles at the same time. The last boxer to own all four titles at the same time was Jermaine Taylor, who won the IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO middleweight titles from Bernard Hopkins in July 2005. When Taylor and Hopkins fought again in December of 2005, only the WBA, WBC, and WBO middleweight titles were at stake in their immediate rematch. Mandatory defenses and champions' unwillingness to pay for sanctioning fees have prevented such a fight from happening in 12 years, since Taylor beat Hopkins at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas. I think this is a great article because at the end of the day, it proves some people are in it for legacy. Terence Crawford and Julius Indongo putting up $100K each for the chance to become undisputed, for a chance to cement their name in history. There's been a question that's asked in the LDBC recently because Terence Crawford recently came out with an article that said if he wins this fight against Indongo, he feels he's number one pound for pound. And I feel like the majority of the LDBC is going to agree with that because Terence Crawford is doing stuff that other fighters we have a lot of respect for just don't seem like they're interested in doing. I got a lot of love for Andre Ward, a lot of respect for him, great deal. But he just doesn't seem interested in chasing that WBC belt from Adonis Stevenson. So I feel if Terence Crawford can cement himself as the first undisputed champion since 2005, that does put him at the number one pound for pound fighter. And if Julius Indongo can win 3 championship fights, 3 unification fights within the span of 8 months, he deserves to be up there on the number one pound for pound threshold as well. That's my opinion. I'm very excited. This is the biggest fight we have in boxing because it also proves that if the fighters want to unify, if Anthony Joshua wanted to fight Deontay Wilder, there's ways of getting around it. Terence Crawford and Julius Indongo are proving that. They're paying their sanctioning fees. They got their mandatories to step aside. They know this is for legacy. They want to be remembered. And us fans, that's what we want to see. We want to have the opportunity to be able to say, this fighter is the best fighter at that division. We're tired of saying, this guy's a champion and so is he. Who's better, we'll never know because they won't fight. We've had enough of that in the sport of boxing. It's time to clean some of this up. I'm glad that they came out with this article disclosing how much money the fighters were willing to pay out of their own pockets. because sometimes it always ain't about money. And this gives me even more respect for these two that are willing to put it all on the line. Much respect to Terence Crawford, much respect to Julius Indongo. I'll give a fight prediction later on down the line. This is All Stop Sports, and shout out to the LDBC. A lot of love and respect for y'all. I'm out.